It's clear we're not getting all the information. It's clear something's off here. I forgive him, Jaguar Wright began, before diving into a fiery breakdown of the events surrounding Charlie Kirk's shocking death. The first person, the old man. Nobody even knew why he was grabbed, but he was grabbed, and his picture was bundled out. Then there was someone else, a so-called person of interest. That didn't work. And then we got this guy. Jaguar Wright just set the internet on fire with a bold and controversial take on Kirk's sudden death. In a passionate live stream, she zoomed in on what she described as glaring inconsistencies in the official narrative, turning much of the focus toward Kirk's widow, Erica. According to Jaguar, Erica's statements and behavior following her husband's death raised more questions than answers. From her sudden silence on social media to her carefully worded public appearances, Jaguar argued that something didn't add up. Jaguar didn't stop there. She suggested that the inconsistencies in the investigation pointed to a far more complicated story than the public had been told. Specifically, she raised the possibility of foreign influence or hidden political motives, pointing to Kirk's outspoken views on Israel, Gaza, and other global flashpoints as potential triggers. She argued that the mainstream media rushed to portray Kirk's assassination as a straightforward act of violence, while failing to address the deeper political context or examine who truly benefits from silencing him. Calling for full transparency, Jaguar urged both the public and independent media outlets to demand the release of all available evidence, including surveillance footage, phone records, and the alleged timeline of events leading up to the shooting. She also criticized what she called a coordinated effort to downplay Kirk's controversial positions, claiming that his views were being softened in the press to steer attention away from the possible motives behind his killing. Her commentary only added fuel to an already volatile public discourse. "Guys, you'd better buckle up," one host warned, "because the drama that Jaguar just started has gotten wild." "We've been talking about this," another commentator added. "When we watched The Impact, it wasn't like this. It was like this. It went straight through. And we saw it. And then we saw the gouge, then the spill, and then the slump." Another content creator joined in, claiming there was some kind of device just under Charlie's shirt. "You could see like some movement happened underneath his shirt right before the injury," one observed. Soon, word spread that in a now-deleted video, Jaguar had stirred up even more controversy by raising troubling questions about the circumstances of Kirk's death. In her blunt, no-holds-barred style, she dissected the official narrative and turned her sharpest focus toward Erica Kirk. According to Jaguar, Erica's highly publicized speech after her husband's death didn't come across as heartfelt words of a devastated partner. Instead, Jaguar argued, it sounded like a calculated statement, crafted to send a specific message. The detail that drew the most attention was Erica's repeated reference to them. Who exactly is they? Was she hinting at shadowy forces, political enemies, or something else entirely? Jaguar insisted such vague language only deepened suspicion. But Jaguar's breakdown didn't stop at tone and language. She pushed viewers to question why Erica avoided personal anecdotes or raw emotion in her remarks, replacing them instead with broad, almost political language. To Jaguar, this seemed less like a grieving spouse honoring her husband and more like someone delivering a statement under pressure or even on behalf of others. The first person, the old man, I don't even know why he was grabbed, but he was grabbed, and his picture was bundled out, she repeated. And then there was someone else, a person of interest. Then that didn't work. And then we got this guy. He had a bulletproof vest that might have caught the exit. Really? That's interesting. These observations, Jaguar claimed, opened the door to bigger questions about the forces surrounding Kirk's sudden demise. Was Charlie Kirk simply the victim of a lone shooter, as authorities allege? Or was his death tied to his outspoken stances, controversial alliances, and enemies both foreign and domestic? In her deleted video, Jaguar didn't just question the narrative, she dissected it piece by piece. She zoomed in on the details surrounding the ammunition used in the shooting. According to her, the type of ammo that struck Charlie Kirk should have exited his body in a way that created significant visible blood spatter. Yet Jaguar pointed out that footage and eyewitness reports from the scene haven't clearly shown anyone behind Kirk being sprayed or covered in blood, despite there being people seated directly in his line of fire. This, she argued, raised critical questions about the authenticity of the crime scene and whether the shooting unfolded as authorities claimed. Jaguar didn't stop at the forensic details. She leveled one of her most explosive accusations yet, that Erica Kirk may not have been the supportive partner the public perceived her to be. Instead, Jaguar alleged Erica was a planted intelligence asset embedded into Charlie's life to monitor and influence him. According to Jaguar, Erica's role was to keep Charlie aligned with certain powerful interests whose agendas he had long supported. But when Charlie began to deviate from that path, voicing criticisms of policies, international alliances, and untouchable subjects, Jaguar suggested that the mechanisms keeping him in line were quietly disabled. In her narrative, this culminated in Charlie's elimination, an act orchestrated by forces larger than any individual. It was a stunning claim, one that positioned Erica not just as a grieving widow, but as a central figure in a larger, shadowy operation. Jaguar painted her as someone whose carefully managed public image shielded her true purpose. You don't embed yourself in a man's life for years and then act like you're reading from a script at his memorial unless there's a bigger story behind it, Jaguar said. While Jaguar provided no hard evidence for these allegations, her questions about the ammunition, the lack of blood spatter, and Erica's alleged ties to intelligence nonetheless sent waves through social media. Supporters saw her as exposing truths others were afraid to touch, while critics warned that her claims risked spiraling into dangerous disinformation during a time of mourning. According to Jaguar, the official story surrounding Charlie Kirk's shooting didn't just have holes. It was a carefully constructed misdirection. She argued the FBI had been presenting a misleading narrative from the very start. Wright pointed to the Bureau's widely circulated image of their suspect, insisting the photo didn't align with what actually happened that night. Her most explosive claim was that the real shooter wasn't fleeing at all, but was inside the same VIP box as Charlie when the shots rang out. If true, this would completely upend the investigation's credibility. Why would authorities steer the public toward one story if the truth lay closer to Kirk himself? Jaguar suggested the answer was clear. The FBI was shaping a narrative that hides more than it reveals. The timeline following the shooting only fueled suspicions. Within hours, the FBI named Tyler Robinson as their prime suspect, releasing an image allegedly showing him fleeing the scene.